Good morning, friends. This is your old girl, Melanie Rose, here to share your daily aspects. Today is Monday, December 6, 2021. The sun is in Sagittarius, and while we stand in this influence, we tend to be more flexible, adaptable, and open to changes. Expectations give way to an open, hopeful demeanor as we dive into the Yule season and the spectacle of lights now here in the time of year most dominated by the night. The moon is in Capricorn all day today. Capricorn gives us a taste of ambition, calling on us to put real effort into the realization of our highest aspirations. And the waxing crescent phase of this moon calls on us to begin to visualize what it will be like when the goals we've made are set in motion, which we will begin to do this Friday with the first quarter moon in Pisces. Okay, let's take a look at some of the planetary and aspect energies before we get into any further interpretations. I have prepared a legend of the symbols we're working with today so that we can have an idea what energies are in play. We have, as always, the sun. The sun is our outer life. That is who we are when we step out the front door, the person that people get to know when they meet us for the first time, and how we engage in our social, work, and civic spheres. After that, we have the moon. The moon represents our inner life, and that's really more who you are on the inside. What's your relationship with yourself? It's our emotions, our intuitions, the things we know, and also how we engage in our domestic sphere at home and with the people that we are at home with. We have Mars on board today. Mars represents your personal drive and initiative. Pluto represents extremes and depths in that it's about the endings and beginnings of things, death and rebirth, but also the depths of emotion and depths of intuition. Neptune is about our relationship with the human collective, whereas Venus is about how we relate to those people and things that we value the most. And Saturn is about our stewardship of the structures that support us, whereas Chiron is about our healing. As for the aspect energies today, we have two kinds of aspects on the page. One of them is the sextile that you see here. Sextile is a positive cooperative energy, and things done according to these planets' energies or vibrations are likely to generate good outcomes. And we have conjunct here. Conjunct amplifies the energies of both planets involved, so you get a stronger feeling of something or a stronger urge to behave a certain way, or just you see a stronger influence of that planet's effects in your life. Signs of mention on the page today are Sagittarius and Capricorn. And with all of that said, let's take a look at our aspects. I have divided our aspects into two columns, one for each of our luminaries. The moon sheds light on our inner lives, setting the tone for our emotional and domestic experiences. The moon moves very quickly, creating many brief aspects that represent ambient energies that may be felt as emotions or intuitions that occur to us throughout the day. The sun sheds light on our outer lives, setting the tone for our more social experiences. And I address the rest of the planets on this side because they last longer and they have more of an impact on our actions out in the world. And today we begin with the sun. In our ongoing column, Saturn sextile Chiron is something we will continue to be checking out through the 10th of this month. So for a few more days, check your natal Chiron placement. It might not be in your regular birth chart that you might have gotten from, say, Cafe Astrology or astrology.com, something like that. You might have to go look for a Chiron table or a Chiron placement calculator. Those are good search terms. And the reason you want to know your Chiron placement, as I've said before, is you want to know what it is that you're working on healing in this life. It's really eye-opening to look up your Chiron placement because, you know, when you find out what that says you're working on in this life, it can clarify a lot of things for you. And having that clarification at this time is very good because, you know, when we know what we're trying to learn, we know also what we know about it, so what we already have learned. And we can use the wisdom of that healing to apply to our foundations, our families, our relationships, and, you know, our own will to maintain the structures that support us, just by being ourselves and by acting in the world as though we have learned the lessons that we know that we have. So using the wisdom from our healing reinforces our foundations. And when that happens, when we have reinforced foundations, when we have stronger families and stronger relationships and a stronger sense of, you know, knowing why it is that we do all the things that we do, then we can, you know, we can succeed even better. We can dream even bigger, and we can, you know, get more done in our life. And today in Central Standard Time at 5:41 a.m., Mars went sextile with Pluto. So this is a great aspect to begin while the moon is in Capricorn, because we get this boost of ambitious energy. It's kind of an intense feeling, but it's manageable. We can focus. It's not just going to you know, make us explode in our brains and not be able to pay attention. It gives us some endurance and stamina. Think, you know, depth of action. Think, you know, an extreme ability to focus on what makes you ambitious. So choose a course of action, and this aspect will commit you to seeing the goal through. And this one happens once a year for about 4 days. So really, you know, give it some thought. Let's see. Let's say ambition boost. Starting something is blessed. You want to be starting something at this time. I mean, you've really got to be starting something. The sextile energy says you can generate something very positive out of the cooperation of your ambition and your depth. All right. As for the moon side of the page, at 2:09, I don't know why I'm changing out markers every 5 minutes here, but, you know, I'm going with it. The moon makes a sextile with Neptune. Moon and Neptune always make us more sensitive and intuitive when they're in aspect together. We tend to feel what other people are feeling. We, you know, we know the energies around us. We know when things are tense and thick and dense, or we know when things are happy and light or confused. It's really, really easy to just sense that from what's going on around us. This sextile vibration makes it a great time, though, to indulge in that sensitivity and intuition, and do some spell work if you want to, meditate, get into your intuitive practices. Feeling and intuiting with ease. Spell work and meditation, friends. Or whatever it is you like to do to get in touch with spirit. To be a human in touch with spirit. Then at 7:21 p.m. this evening, the moon, this is a 2-hour aspect. The moon goes conjunct with Venus at 7:21. Now, moon conjunct Venus kind of brings in that peaceful, easy feeling in the heart and home. We are again, and still more sensitive than usual overall. So we should choose company that feels good to us, which should be easy in the home. I hope that is the sake for you at home. And at this time, we also, we have a little more power to attract love and beauty to us. This is a 2-hour aspect as well. Let's see. I'm going to say love and beauty boosted in the heart and home. At 9:55 p.m. Moon makes a conjunct with Pluto. So this is going to be marked by a really intense intensification of access to our deeper feelings. It is possible at this time to be overwhelmed with our emotions or with the intuitive information that is coming our way. We may fall into a habit of ruminating on old hurts, and that can make it hard to focus, okay? But our intuitive and psychic insights really help us access like what's going on around us, how we feel about it, and what we need to do next. So if you can avoid sort of dwelling or ruminating on things that have hurt us in the past, we can use the depth of this conjunct, emotions, conjunct depth. So it's like a double, they're amplifying one another. We can use that to really get into your intuition and see some stuff that you might not normally see. Let's see. Deep feelings, intuitions. Let's try not to ruminate. And lately I have found that when I start ruminating on things, that is the time to get out my tarot cards or, check my current astrology. I also use a little bit of numerology. Get into my intuitive practices that help me sort of talk to myself about what might be going on in my heart and mind, so that I can, seek a better way to go forward, because rumination and dwelling, there's a brief period of time where that's appropriate, but, the word ruminate doesn't really indicate brief at all. So, let's try to keep it moving past those old hurts so that we can, use that information just for fodder for growth. Or not moving past the old hurts, but sort of folding them in a way that we can use them as fodder for growth. How does that sound? Okay. Deep feelings and intuitions, try not to ruminate. And again, we have a little psychic boost here. And I want to say, up here we have this moon sextile Neptune. So we really start off the afternoon in this 2-hour spell of feeling and intuition. And the sextile, it's really almost like a little shield, right? So it will lend us some protection with, while working together with Neptune. It'll lend us some protection in the spirit realm. So we really are able to open up and open up our intuitive selves without, fear of being like misled or getting confused. And I would take that as a message for the rest of the day, honestly, because there's a lot of feeling and intuition on the page today. Last one we have tonight is at 10:42. And this is a void of course moon running sextile to Mars. So of course, void of course means that this is the last aspect that the moon is making in Capricorn. It will move into Aquarius early tomorrow morning. Actually around, where did I put my glasses? around 6 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. So from around 10:40 tonight until 6 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. Again, the moon is void, of course, and that is still a good time to be using your intuitive practices and flexing your little psychic muscle so that you can move forward. Especially, in terms of the energy work that we're doing around applying what we've learned from our healing to our social and domestic networks. Okay, so Moon sextile Mars, this really indicates an enthusiasm for action, whether it's work or play. We are competitive and cooperative. We seek win-win situations. This usually brings about like a natural bravery to fight for a worthy cause. It's a 2-hour aspect. And it's happening kind of late in the evening, for me at least. But, I still might get to do something with it. In light of all this thinking, feeling, and intuiting I've been doing all day, it seems like it might be a great time to go for a late walk or do some other physical activity that, burns some of that excess fuel I've built up. All right. So I'm going to say enthusiasm, work and play. Find some way to play for sure. Naturally courageous at this hour. Coming up this week, tomorrow, Mars will make a square aspect with Jupiter, inviting us to take some risks to ensure our personal growth and expansion. And that will be happening at the same time as this ambition boost, so no mistakes there. And we will see a first quarter moon in Pisces on Friday, which calls upon us to take action on these plans we've been making with a sense of compassion and creativity in our hearts. And we will talk about these things and more as they come up. That's it for today, friends. This has been your Daily Aspects, an astrological weather report for Monday, December 6, 2021. If you have any comments or questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments section below this video. And if you haven't already, please like my video and subscribe to the Old Girl channel. I will leave this up for just a little bit longer so that you may have time to peruse it. Thank you all so much for being here. My name is Melanie Rose, and I will see you all back here tomorrow for more Daily Aspects.